Prologue: The hanging at Blackwater winter came hard to Blackwater Ferry. The wind swept across the James River in bitter waves, carrying freezing rain that turned the muddy roads into trenches of ice and filth. Lantern lights swayed weakly outside the ferry post, barely visible through the fog rolling off the water. Most travelers had already taken shelter for the night. Only the desperate still moved in weather like this, or the hunted. Thomas Vane had been both. His boots slipped against the frozen dock as he staggered between stacked cargo crates near the shoreline, one gloved hand pressed tightly against his ribs. Blood seeped slowly between his fingers, nearly black beneath the storm-dark sky, not a musket wound, a knife, close and quiet, professional. Behind him, somewhere beyond the fog, voices echoed faintly across the riverbank. British, searching, Vane forced himself onward. Every breath burned. The small brass lantern token hanging beneath his coat struck softly against his chest as he moved. The metal had once shined bright, but years of handling had worn it dull. To anyone else, it looked like a cheap trinket. To the right eyes, it meant something entirely different. It meant safe passage, hidden doors, unspoken names, the lantern ring. Vane reached the rear wall of the ferry warehouse and collapsed to one knee in the mud. His vision blurred. His fingers trembled violently as he pulled a small folded paper from inside his coat. The message, the reason they had chased him all the way from Williamsburg. He could still hear Reed's warning from 3 nights earlier. If they catch you alive, the network dies with you. Vane coughed hard, spitting blood into the rain. The paper shook in his hands. Not enough time. The voices were closer now. A lantern beam swept faintly through the fog. He forced himself upright and stumbled toward an old supply wagon abandoned beside the warehouse wall. One wheel had broken clean from its axle, leaving the cart tilted sideways in the mud. Perfect. Vane pulled a rusted iron pry from beneath the wagon bed and shoved it between 2 warped planks. The wood groaned loose just enough for him to force the folded message into the hollow space beneath. His strength nearly failed him. He replaced the board carefully. No sign, no trace, just another rotting wagon beside the river. Bootsteps emerged from the fog behind him, steady, measured. Not militia, soldiers. Vane turned slowly. 3 British regulars approached with muskets raised, while a 4th figure remained farther back beneath the rain cloak of a mounted officer. Even in darkness, Vane recognized authority when he saw it. The mounted figure did not rush, did not shout. Simply watched. One soldier stepped forward. "Thomas Vane," he said coldly. By order of the Crown, Vane drew the small flintlock hidden beneath his coat and fired once. The shot exploded through the fog. One soldier collapsed screaming into the mud. The others answered instantly. Muskets thundered. Wood splintered behind Vane as he threw himself sideways against the wagon. Pain tore through his shoulder. His pistol vanished into the darkness. He tried to stand, couldn't. The mounted officer finally approached through the rain. Tall, calm, grey coat beneath the cloak. The officer dismounted slowly and crouched beside him, while the remaining soldiers secured the dock. For a moment, neither man spoke. Rain struck the river in endless ripples around them. Then, the officer's eyes settled on the brass lantern token partially visible beneath Vane's coat. Recognition. Interesting. The officer removed a glove. "Where is the message?" he asked quietly. Vane smiled through bloody teeth. "Already delivered." The officer studied him for several seconds, not angry, not frustrated, almost impressed. One of the soldiers approached nervously. "Major Vale, sir. The ferrymaster says militia may arrive by morning." "So, that was his name." Vale looked back toward the fog-covered river, then calmly drew a pistol from beneath his cloak. "Search everything," he ordered. Vane laughed weakly. It turned into coughing. "You're already too late." Major Edmund Vale leveled the pistol. The shot disappeared into the storm. By sunrise, Thomas Vane hung from a dead oak overlooking Blackwater Road. No visible signs marked him as a spy, no documents, no token, no explanation, only another body left as a warning to the colonies. And beneath a broken wagon beside the frozen ferry docks, the hidden message waited in silence.